This week I finished the difficulty change I planned last week and spent most of my time making the UI more consistent across the game. I finished the difficulty changes just after recording the last devlog. Mages and tanks no longer float the arena early on, nothing special appears before the first boss, and from there they start coming in gradually. Only after a few bosses do they begin showing up in larger numbers. So the early game pacing ILD balance stays mostly intact, while later stages can continue getting harder. Most of this week was a UI polish pass. The main menu was already the part of UI I liked the most, especially the play button and the general color direction, so I decided to use that as the reference for the rest of the menus. I spent the first day mostly deciding which colors and alignments I wanted to keep, then started bringing the other screens closer to that style. I also made model backgrounds behave more consistently. Screens that open over gameplay now use the same blurred background treatment instead of each one handling it differently. I checked how everything scales across different screen sizes as well. The UI itself is holding up pretty well. The arena will still need a little more work to look good on larger screens, but the menus are in a good place. The HUD was the part I wanted to change the most. Score, combo and the boss content were all taking up space from top to bottom, and I wasn't really enjoying how crowded that area had become. So I rebuilt them into a more compact top HUD. The old boss in X text is now a boss icon with the content beside it. And the score and combo use shortened numbers so they don't need as much room. I reused that same number formatting later on the high score and kill counters in the main menu. I moved on to the level up and boss reward screens next. Boss rewards now use the boss icon as well, and I changed how cute rewards transition between cards. Previously, if multiple rewards were waiting, the blur would clear between each reward and animate back in again for the next one. Now the background blur stays in place for the whole queue, while only the cards transition in and out. I also like the gradual blur animation I already had on the Soulstone reveal, so I brought that over to the normal level up and boss reward screens. The cards now have a small entrance animation as well instead of just appearing in place. While checking Soulstones again, I adjusted their luck calculation a little. Early rounds were giving me stones with one maxed out stat much more often than I wanted. So I moved some of the strength away from the raw rarity and made the higher rarities give more chances to reroll into stronger stat tiers instead. Killing more bosses still improved the stone overall, but getting an extremely strong single stat stone early should be less common now. Once I had the first build of the week on my phone, I started noticing some interaction feedback that was still missing. Many buttons were silent, haptics were barely being used, and selecting or confirming rewards didn't have much feedback. So I added more sound and haptic responses to those interactions. I did run into one bug where the nav select and confirm sounds could stop working or fall out of sync after restarting. The new sound pad wasn't listening to the same events as the rest of the UI sounds, so I fixed that and checked the restart flow again. While checking the phone build, I made a few other changes too. I added a basic graphic setting. High is still the default and it is what I am using in the videos. But the lower options can reduce things like shadows and render scaling if they are needed on another device. The unlock notification at the end of a run is now a purple model that stays up until the player dismisses it. And I adjusted some of the unlock requirements while checking that screen. I pulled the XP pop-ups as well. There is no reason to keep creating every pop-up separately, so they now reuse the same 10 text meshes. I did a little more work on the settings and pause screens too, so everything still lines up with the new options. Next week I want to wrap up the remaining UI details and move back onto balance. What is left now is mostly weapon balance, unlock requirements and a few final progression tweaks. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.